The guidance comes from the Quran. And I hope that these words of mine will reach to Imran Khan. The guidance comes from the Quran. It comes from the Torah, it comes from the Injil, it comes from the Zabur. And that guidance has been coming for thousands of years. And all through those thousands of years, the subject of riba was addressed. It was addressed in the Torah, which came down to Moses, Nabi Musa alayhi salam. It came down in the Zabur to Nabi Dawood alayhi salam, the Prophet David. The subject of riba is in the Gospel, which came down to Nabi Isa alayhi salam, Jesus. And it came down in the Quran as well. So all through the history of divine guidance, this subject has been addressed. Which is why I wish that these words can reach to Prime Minister Imran Khan. Because every government before him failed. He cannot expect to succeed. When every government before him failed, when I arrived in Pakistan in 1964 as a student, I left Al-Azhar. The failure of every government in Pakistan is plain and clear before your eyes, if you have eyes we wish to see. Because the rupee today is about 125 to $1 US. And the only way this government can succeed is not by depending on scholarship that came out of universities from Oxford to Qaid-e-Azam University, or, scholarship which comes out of today's Darul Uloom, which is not to be speaking disparagingly about the Darul Uloom, because simply this is inadequate. The education and training that comes out of the Darul Uloom is inadequate. You will not be able to succeed, Imran Khan. At the end of your time, you will be a failure like all the others before you. And the greatest danger that comes before this government in Pakistan now, is they're going to attack you more vigorously than they attacked previous governments. And the attack will be riba. And you have 100% guarantee of failure. 100% guarantee of failure, unless you have proper guidance on this subject. So be careful who you turn to for guidance. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam was sent as rahmatul lil alameen. And he cursed. Who did he curse? He cursed all four. And he said they're all equally guilty. You know the hadith, I'm just repeating it for you. He cursed the one who takes riba. He cursed the one who gives riba. He cursed the one who records the transaction. And he cursed the two witnesses. And he said they are all equally guilty. And so you have to ask the question, because the Quran does not tell you, and the hadith does not tell you. And so you have to think. And the Salafi are my brothers. And when I speak to the Salafi, notice I don't have any boxing gloves. I'm just trying to teach them. If they would listen to me. That Allah sent down the Quran لِقَوْمِ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. He sent down the Quran to a people who think. And so you have to ask the question, why has He offered this contrast between riba and charity? The answer is not there in the verse. The answer is not there in the hadith. So your methodology is inadequate. This is my message to the Salafi. I don't have any boxing gloves. Brothers, listen to me for your own benefit. We have a duty to ask the question, why has Allah offered the contrast between riba and charity? What is a perfect act of charity? It is to give and to take nothing in return. What is a perfect act of riba? It is to take and give nothing in return. When once we understand that, we will know it's going to be the mother of all betrayals for Pakistan to now go to the IMF for a bailout. For a bailout. You'll be as much a jackass as all the others who came before you. Apologies for that strong language. Yes, that's what you would be. As much as a jackass of all the others who came before you, if you now go to the IMF for a bailout. Because Allah is teaching you in the Quran that the perfect act of charity is one in which you give and you take nothing in return. And the perfect act of riba is the opposite. It is that in which you take and you give nothing in return. And so eventually Africa becomes poor, and Pakistan becomes poor, and Bangladesh becomes poor. It doesn't stop there. Because Nabi Muhammad ﷺ spoke. But who cares about the Prophet today? Who cares about him? That even if riba is a little bit, he said, it will still end in poverty and destitution. Those were his words. It's just a matter of time.